The Indians used to be the only inhabitants of the Americas, but times change. Having perceived us as belonging to history, they are free to emote over us, to recreate us in their history-based understanding, and dismiss our present lives as archaic and irrelevant to the times. America does not seem to remember that it derived its wealth, its values, its food, much of its medicine, and a large part of its dream from Native Americans. The great lie is that it is civilization. It's not civilized. It has been literally the most bloodthirsty, brutalizing system ever imposed upon this planet. That is not civilization. That's the great lie, is that it represents civilization. Historically speaking, we went from being Indians to pagans to savages to hostiles to militants to activists to Native Americans. It's 500 years later and they still can't see us. We are still invisible. We must go beyond the arrogance of human rights. We must go beyond the ignorance of civil rights. We must step into the reality of natural rights because all of the natural world has a right to exist, and we are only a small part of it. There can be no trade-off. I think it's the responsibility of every human being, not just those who wear the identity of poet, activist, voter, religious person. It's the responsibility of every person.
I never saw so many business suits. Never knew a dollar sign could look so cute. Never knew a junkie with a money Jones. They singing, who's selling pie place? Who's buying boardwalk?
We have power. Our power is not in a political system or a religious system or an economic system or in a military system. These are authoritarian systems. They have power, but it is not reality. The power of our intelligence, individually or collectively, is the power. This is the power that any industrial ruling class truly fears. Clear, coherent human beings.
The reservation out at Poverty Row. There's something cooking and the lights are low. Somebody's trying to save our Mother Earth. I'm gonna help them to save it.
The people looked around them and they saw Black, Chicano people, Asian people, many white people, and others who were kept poor by the American wealth and power. The people saw that these people who were not rich and powerful share a common life with them. The people realized they must share their history with them. We shall tell you all of our struggles, they said. We are all the people of this land. We were created out of the forces of earth and sky, the stars and water. We must make sure that the balance of the earth be kept. There is no other way. We must struggle for our lives. We must take great care with each other. We must share our concern with each other. Nothing is separate from us. We are all one body of people. Folks here live by the pretty quilts they make, more than make actually, more than pretty. They are histories, their lives and their quilts. Indian people who have been scattered, sundered into odds and bits, determined to remake whole cloth. Nothing quits. It changes many times, sometimes to something we don't want, but we again gather the pieces, study them, decide, make decisions again, yes, and fit them to color, necessity, conditions, taste, and choice, and start again. Our lives are quilts, letters, odds, and bits, scraps, but always the thread loving through them, compassionate knowledge that what we make is worth it and will outlast anything that was before and will be worthy of any people's art, endeavor, and final triumph. Here, look at my clothes, quilts, coats of many colors.
Leave no regrets, leave something to remember, so they won't forget I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here. I did.
We must struggle to share our human lives with each other. We must fight against those forces which will take our humanity from us. We must ensure that life continues. We must be responsible to that life. With that humanity and the strength which comes from our shared responsibility for this life, the people shall continue.